Call to order the October 5th, 2015 meeting of the Limestone County Commission. Right off bat, do we have any other public comment?
We do not have anyone else except what's on the agenda.
All right, I'd like to call Rebecca Davis, April Davis. Is Sandy here? Sarah Love. Well, the view got a lot better up here since the ladies come up, didn't it?
Now let's cover up, Jason.
That's okay.
Whereas the Limestone County Commission recognizes the need to preserve the documentation of its history and to make it accessible for generations to come, and whereas the Limestone County Archives, the Alabama Veterans Museum and Archives, and Athens State University Archives are actively working to accomplish this goal, and whereas Limestone County's archival records contain information of enduring value to the communities, institutions, and citizens of this county, and whereas archival records protect the civil rights of citizens and document the responsibilities of their governments, support research into social, economic, health, and environmental issues, and provide materials for education and public programs, and whereas archivists within Limestone County work to identify, preserve, and make these records available, and whereas October is designated American Archives Month and Alabama Archives Month, now therefore I, Mark Yarborough, Chairman of the Limestone County Commission, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2015 as Archives Month in Limestone County, and encourage all citizens to utilize the records and service of archives in Limestone County in order to gain an understanding and appreciation of Limestone County history. Thank you, ladies, very much.
How long the train is depends on which side of the track you're on.
Yes, ma'am.
I got here just in time.
Hey, Sandy.
All right. Thank y'all so much. Thank you for everything you do. Now we have Darren Parker and Dave Dunlap with American Fidelity.
Like to hear him speak better.
Yeah, he's way more eloquent than I am. Sounds way better.
Hey, some New Guinea.
Just where you guys want me right here?
Sure.
Well, real quick, again, I'm Dave Dunlap with American Fidelity. As you guys may know, we handle several services for the county, including the administration of your Section 125, which is your cafeteria plan. In short, we just handle the paperwork and ensure the rules and regs required by the IRS are enforced and in place for your cafeteria plan and the pre-tax program here at the county. We also handle your annual enrollment for your employees' benefits. That includes your core benefits, which would be your medical and dental, as well as the benefits provided by American Fidelity, which are the vision through our partner VSP, short-term disability, which marries up with your group life, short-term disability, and then cancer insurance, accident insurance, and hospitalization insurance, which helps offset those out-of-pocket medical expenses, or helps to offset those out-of-pocket medical expenses for employees. We are proposing today that American Fidelity take over your group life insurance through our partner Cigna. As you'll see on the left-hand side of your folder, from a cost standpoint, we prepared what your renewal rates are currently versus what we are proposing, which in short, gentlemen, is about a $17,000 savings over the course of 3 years for the county and its employees. Cigna's a great company. The benefits themselves will be equal to or greater than what the benefits you currently have. So there's no reduction in coverages. It's simply a cost savings. Cigna was incredibly aggressive with their pricing with us, and so American Fidelity will be the agent of record, or the AOR, which means that we'll help on the front end from the administration and enrollment standpoint, handling the paperwork, and then advocating on behalf of the employees through the claims process. The other thing we're going to propose this morning is currently your group life enrolls first quarter, actually in March each year. your annual enrollment happens late October or November for a January 1 effective date. Thus, the county has 2 open enrollments. So with this proposal, we're going to not request, I guess, ask for the enrollment to be married with the current annual enrollment, which will save several $1,000s in just employee payroll costs by having 2 enrollments. So with American Fidelity, of course, all of our county managers are salary, career-based. We really act as consultants, so we can tie all of this together and not only do your medical, the group meetings, and all your voluntary, but also do the enrollment for your group life annually at the same time all of that's happening. So we can tie that into our group meetings from an education standpoint, help there, and then have 1 enrollment rather than 2. So the proposal date is through October 24th per Cigna. And so what we're going to request at your, I guess, if you guys will allow us, is to have a decision by the 19th, which is your next meeting. We have our enrollment scheduled for the 3rd week in November, so this will act as compliance to meet their request for the proposal date, as well as to allow us time to get everything set up and implemented on our end through our enrollment platform and have all the census and information put in for the enrollment and have that scheduled. So any questions?
No, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you guys for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All righty. Jim, you're done, aren't you?
We are done. There's not much for me to report. The jail is finished. At some point this week, we'll have the touchscreen, the security electronics designer come up, run through it with that contractor and with the owner, so that the owner likes or is comfortable with all the way the systems perform and the way they're integrated and shown there on the touchscreen. A couple of owner tutorials like that, just heating systems, those types of things, and maybe a few closeout data documentation, but the project has reached completion. You know, maybe a little more grass growing. That's about it. Any questions about it?
No, sir.
All right, thanks.
Robert.
Well, I can report on the courthouse I walked through this morning. And basically what I'll do is I'll start on the top and kind of work my way down to the floor. As everyone knows, we had the bids on the roofing a few weeks ago. We're working on the contract to get them started. Garber was the low contractor who is also the contractor on the renovations. We're working on that contract now. Looking above the ceiling on the 3rd level, the majority of the rough in for mechanical, electrical, and plumbing has occurred. All the mechanical plumb ends and rough ends are exposed below the ceiling. So as you walk through, you can see where those are starting to penetrate through. Of the roof and floor repairs, all except for 2 have been completed. So we should have the steel for those 2 locations this week, and they should be completed the next couple of weeks. The one ongoing repair that we will see continuing on is the elevator repair. We have the CMU in place, and the additional steel will be delivered this week for that, but it will take several weeks to repair the continued repair of that condition. The good thing about that area is that it's an isolated area that does not impact the other trades to come in and do work. So once the other additional floor areas are completed, you'll have the majority of the contractors in place and working. We do have all the rough ends in place and in progress for mechanical, electrical, and plumbing in the walls. So you see a lot of the stud walls in place and some of the sheetrock going up at the headers and at the fur-out column locations. So as you go down on each floor, you see that occurring. The metal stud manufacturer or installer was there today. They were hanging metal doors in the walls today. There's some additional openings that need to be cut and widened for a couple of door repairs, and then going down onto the 1st level, there's some additional repairs to occur there. But overall, work is progressing in all the areas, and you should see momentum starting to build up now that all the repairs are nearing completion.
Thank you, sir. All right. If there's no more public comment, Pamela, could you call roll?
Commissioner Hill,
Here.
Commissioner Turner,
Here.
Commissioner Black,
Here.
Commissioner Harrison.
Here.
Commissioner Black, you lead us in our pledge.
I will.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you, Robert, Jim. All right, now we'll move along. I'm going to ask for a motion to approve the minutes from September 21st and 30th, 2015. Do I hear such motion?
So moved.
Have a motion by Mr. Hill. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Have a second from any of
Eeny, meeny.
From which two?
Jason. That's close. Any discussion? If there's no discussion, we'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Hill.
Aye.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Next item, approved claims. I'll ask for a motion to approve the claims in the amount of $3,001,777.57. Do I hear a motion to approve such claims?
So moved.
I have a motion by Mr. Turner. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Hill. Any discussion? There's no discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Commissioner Hill.
Aye.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. We move on to resolutions and orders. First item, I'll ask for a motion to approve severe weather preparedness tax holiday resolution. I understand it's something we pretty much do every year, Pamela.
Yes, it is.
Do I hear a motion to approve such holiday resolution?
Motion to approve it.
I have a motion by Mr. Harrison. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
I have a second by Mr. Black. Any discussion? If there's no discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Commissioner Hill.
Aye.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Next item, approve resolution proclaiming Limestone County as a Relay for Life participant and employee guidelines. Do I hear a motion to approve such resolution?
I'll make the motion.
I have a motion by Mr. Black. Do I hear a second?
Second.
I have a second by Mr. Turner. Any discussion? If there's no discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Commissioner Hill.
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Moving on to contracts, agreements, and grants. First item, approve memorandum of understanding for community mapping and data management system participation. And this is once every 3 years, did you say?
It is a 3-year contract, and it's a group that's Limestone County, the City of Athens, the utilities, and E911, and water and sewer.
GIS Consortium.
And the Board of Education is part of this.
Thank you, ma'am. Do I hear a motion to approve such memorandum?
Make motion to approve.
I have a motion by Mr. Harrison. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Turner. Any discussion?
I am looking forward to utilizing this for in our district for location to have a layer to where we can locate culverts and ultimately get work orders on that system too, to where we can go out and utilize that.
I wonder if you can also be able to note on there when repairs are made.
Yes.
They'll replace culverts and all that, and gives you a reference.
History.
Yeah.
See, we have that. He has that history, but it's not readily available
Accessible,
to us.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, if there's no more discussion, I'll call for the vote. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, and you do have that was Terry Bob's. He was kind of the GIS link for us, and that position is going to be replaced, and that function is going to be.
That is correct. The plan right now is we're going to modify that job description slightly, bring that to you very soon, and try to get that thing filled.
Thank you, sir. No more discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Commissioner Hill.
Aye.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Our next item, approve the following TARCOG contracts and memorandum of understanding effective October 1, 2015. Area Agency on Aging, reimbursement not to exceed $126,030. A Medicaid waiver contract for homemaker and companion service, reimbursed at $14.24 an hour. And the Senior RX program, an amount of $20,848. This is of no cost to the county, being reimbursed or pass-through money almost to TARCOG. Do I hear a motion to approve such contracts?
So moved.
I have a motion by Mr. Hill. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
I have a second by Mr. Black. Any discussion? If there's no discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Hill.
Aye.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Our next item, there's no budget revisions. Don't look at me like that, Mr. Boss. No emergency purchases. Board appointments, accept Larry Brissette's resignation from the Athens Limestone Hospital Board and appoint Pat King to complete Mr. Brissette's term, which ends December 31st, 2016. Do I have a motion to accept this resignation and appoint Ms. King?
I make a motion to accept it.
I have a motion by Mr. Harrison. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Turner. Any discussion?
I would like to note that I do believe that Larry Brissette was a good appointment to that board, and he looked out for the interest of the citizens of the Limestone County.
Duly noted, and I agree. If there's no more discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Harrison?
Aye.
Commissioner Turner?
Aye.
Commissioner Hill?
Aye.
Commissioner Black?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. There are no awards to be let. Under personnel action, transfer Joe Mears to Equipment Operator 2 in the Engineering Department. Do I hear a motion to make such transfer?
I make a motion.
I have a motion by Mr. Turner. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Black. Any discussion? There's no discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Turner?
Aye.
Commissioner Black?
Aye.
Commissioner Hill?
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. There are no merit increases to come before the board. Mr. Moss, engineers report.
Pleased to say I have nothing for you today, but it will be different next time, I believe.
But can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
When you talked with Keenum the other day about the paving projects we asked for, they told you
Probably looking at December.
there's no chance that
No, we
Okay.
never say there's no chance, because their schedules can change, but they have won some pretty big contracts to do work, and I think one of the largest is maybe in Franklin County, not for the county, but for the state is what I understood. But either way, that's tying up a lot of their time right now.
if there's any way possible, I'm sure. I know I would like for them to be here earlier, and I'm sure.
Yeah, I would too.
No,
We have requested, if they can get it, of course, you never know about the weather, but if they can, there would be a possibility. I think we talked about maybe fall break. That's probably a little quick, because school would have been out there, been a good time, but perhaps Thanksgiving. I could get it then and still be able to, not have to deal with school traffic.
let me ask you something. Can we, we had the thing with plant mix, to where the high bidder, or low bidder couldn't service us. Is there any way that we can structure our bids to where we can fall back to like Reed or some other contractor if our primary cannot service?
Well, that'd be good.
Yeah, I agree.
It's certainly something we can check into. I don't know how feasible that is, but certainly
Yeah.
we can look at it.
I'd like to see that.
Have they said anything about the turning lane and all that we approved months ago when they're going to do that there at Huntsville Browns Ferry in 31?
I don't have anything on that. They may still be working through. I'd have to look. They may still be working through the contract process on that.
Okay.
Because once it goes to bid, you're looking at probably 4 to 6 weeks before all the paperwork is done, and the contractor gets a notice to proceed. And I don't think there's been a notice to proceed sent as yet.
Okay.
All righty. Moving on to other business. Pardon me. I'll ask for a motion to approve the final credit of the prior year's litigation for years 1985 to 2001 as per the Code Alabama Section 40-5-29. This is at request of Brian Patterson.
So moved.
I have a motion by Mr. Hill. Do I hear a second?
Second.
I have a second by Mr. Turner. Any discussion? Got to give him credit if he's been trying to get 1985 for all these years. I
No
guess
kidding.
it's time to drop it in. If no more discussion, we'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Hill?
Aye.
Commissioner Turner?
Aye.
Commissioner Black?
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. There's no public hearing scheduled. We'll move on to report of the officers. Commissioner Hill.
Yes, Rogers Group has donated some materials to improve the walking trail at Cedar Hill, and we plan to help put that out for more education.
Great. Commissioner Turner.
I'm make a motion. I'm looking for approval to pave Eastland Drive and Land Drive. It's all the same subdivision. The main road, which is Eastland, goes in, makes a cul-de-sac. Land Drive turns off of it to the south. It'd be a total of about $31,000. This subdivision was hit hard back during the tornadoes. A lot of heavy traffic in there on that road when they were cleaning up, and it's just in terrible shape. It's not a lot of houses in there, but from everybody I've talked to, down to the person that put the road in to begin with, it's been there 30 years. So if we can get 30 years out of this resurfacing, we'll be happy.
That'll wind us up.
That'll wind us up.
I have a motion to resurface portions of Eastland Drive and Land Drive. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
I have a second by Mr. Black. Any discussion? There's no discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Turner?
Aye.
Commissioner Black? Commissioner Hale?
Yes.
Commissioner Harrison?
Aye.
Motion, motion carries unanimously. Do you have anything else, Commissioner?
Thank you.
We'll move on to Commissioner Black.
All right, I also have plant mix for 2 locations. One's off of Huntsville Browns Ferry Road, Highway 31. It'll be back where the Tanner Post Office is, going back to 31. Heavily traveled, school buses, lots of people going back and forth to Tanner High School, and it's just a heavily used road. It's just falling apart. Also, Ezel Road from Holt Springer Road to Highway 72. We tried to do some work on the shoulder there, did the best we could do. Now we're just needing to come back and put the plant mix on top of it. That's leading right up to Clements High School. So I'd like to make a motion to approve these 2.
We have a motion for the commission to resurface portions of Huntsville Browns Ferry Road and Ezel Road. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Turner. Any discussion?
You chip sealed that Ezel this summer, didn't you, Jason?
Well, no, we tried to do the shoulder about 4 to 6 feet on that right side, and then it's just settled more and more. We were hoping we could get through without having to come back, but it just really and truly we used a zipper and went too deep when we pulled the road up. We just
Learning curve.
We went too deep, and we've got to do it now instead of later.
There's no more discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Black?
Aye.
Commissioner Turner?
Aye.
Commissioner Hale?
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
I'd also like to make a motion to add agreement that we have. This is where I do this, right, Pam, with Madison on the Burt Green Road to County Line Road.
Yes, ask for suspension of the rules to add.
Yeah, I'd like to suspend the rules, ask to have this rule suspended to add this to the.
I have a motion to suspend the rules to add a memorandum of agreement with the City of Madison. Do I hear a second?
Second.
A second by Mr. Turner. Any discussion?
Well, this is great that they able to pay for this and then take it over, and we have no responsibility afterwards, and that's great.
No cost us.
It is fantastic. It's up to I don't have it in front of me. It's $250,000 up to that point. We'll do the work, and then they'll pay for everything. So.
And what's great about it is they take it on from then on, the maintenance of the whole portion of the road, and so that just kind of highlights, whenever the municipalities expand their borders or take over assets that we maintain. I'm working on a formula to where the cost, that reduces our cost for the whole county, and it shifts the responsibility between districts and the burden of costs. And so I'm working on a formula wherever, not only when we redistrict the lines when we do the census, but whenever any municipality takes responsibility for maintenance of roads, that shifts that formula equation for the redistribution of money. And I hope to have that here within the next month to y'all, to hopefully we can all thrash about and look at it and get everybody to agree.
Thanks, sir. So we have a motion and a second to suspend the rules. No more discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Black?
Aye.
Commissioner Turner?
Aye.
Commissioner Hale? Commissioner Harrison?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. At this time, I'll ask for a motion to approve the memorandum of agreement before you with the city of Madison.
I'll make the motion.
Have a motion by Mr. Black,
I'll second.
have a second by Mr. Harrison. Any discussion? There's no discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Black?
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison?
Aye.
Commissioner Hill?
Aye.
Commissioner Turner?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. I didn't mess up that time, Mr. Macklin. I know she was. Do you have anything further, Commissioner Black?
I'm finished.
At this time, we'll move to Commissioner Harrison.
I was down on Christopher Drive or Christopher Circle this morning, and the road, the water damage has really pretty severe on that road. And what I recommend that we do, and I'll submit it to Bryant for a cost, is to go in and use a zipper to grind it up because the base is not adequate there. Put down block material, good base, let it settle over the winter, and maybe chip seal it next summer.
Thank you, sir. Thank everybody for coming. At this time, I'd like to ask for a motion to go into executive session. Do I hear a motion to go into executive session on, what's the wording? There'll be no action done. Okay.
I'll make the motion.
Have a motion by Mr. Black. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Have a second by Mr. Harrison. Any discussion? If there's no discussion, we'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Black?
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison?
Aye.
Commissioner Hill?
Aye.
Commissioner Turner?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. At this time, we'll move into executive session, and we're gonna go over here. All right, y'all welcome to stay. There'll be no other, when we come out, all we'll do is adjourn. Mark, we'd like to ask you to
Be just a minute and then